going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my entire tiny house journey from the beginning to the end. Not so much the end, but the process along the way, my hopes and dreams and goals for the end, my struggles, and how I got here. So stick around. Hope you guys enjoy this video. My tiny house journey started when I was living in my apartment. My stuff was controlling me. I had realized that I had become quite the hoarder. I love shopping, I love sales, clearance racks, estate sales, garage sales, and I would buy all of this stuff to make me happy and to plan for the future. I thought I was saving stuff for my house to when I got a big house. All of this stuff started to accumulate in my storage area. It got out of control, and I didn't like the fact that my stuff was controlling me. I was becoming angrier at the fact that I couldn't find places to put my new stuff. The hoarding became so much of a problem that when I would bring stuff in that didn't have a place in my apartment, I started putting these things along the walls, piling them up underneath tables. If I didn't have a bookshelf to put books on, I would put them underneath stuff, pile them up in corners, pile them up in closets. My house became so out of control that I didn't want to clean. I had so many trinkets and treasures, little tchotchke pieces, statues, just a bunch of fun stuff that when you have hundreds and hundreds of those items, you don't want to take all that stuff off of the shelves to clean it. I got to the point where I was so frustrated and anxious about not having enough space, even in my own apartment, the fact that everything being cluttered and it kept accumulating dust and dirt, and I didn't like it. One day I was sitting there, I said to myself, if I just got rid of all of this stuff, I could live in a tiny house on wheels. If I changed my mindset, that day I set out on a journey to buy a tiny house on wheels or have one made to change my lifestyle. I took out a notebook. I started writing down all of the things that I was going to need in the tiny house, everything that I would bring with me, everything that I would sell. I researched zoning, parking, builders, financing, just in case I was going to finance, insurance, certification, especially campgrounds. I needed a place to stay that was in Illinois, that was around my mom and my family. So I ended up finding a family-owned campground and ended up staying there for 2 years. Before I went tiny, I didn't think I was going to be able to go tiny because my anxiety also consumed me as much as my stuff controlled me. I felt like I couldn't do it alone. I was scared of everything. So I went to therapy for a year, and I also went to a fears and phobias class for a year. Getting over that anxiety and changing my mindset was a very important step in this whole tiny house process. I'm an Aries and I'm very impulsive, so the decisions that I used to make, I would have said, I'm gonna go tiny and I'm gonna have it in a month. It would have all been a mess. It would have been spontaneous and impulsive and no planning. But learning from my past mistakes, I decided to plan the whole journey and take that notebook out and write everything down. This also set out on a journey for me to sell almost all of my stuff. I was a hoarder. I had a lot of stuff. This included my Samhain and Halloween decorations. Halloween and Samhain is my favorite holidays. Christmas decorations and ornaments that my mom would collect for us every year. We would get about 7 to 10 ornaments either in our stocking or as gifts that when we were growing up we would save in a big bin in order to put them on our trees when we got older. And it didn't stop when we became an adult. Like, she kept getting us ornaments to put on our tree. These were things that I had to get rid of that meant something to me. I sold 4,000 items on Facebook. I made a group on Facebook called Pre-Loved Trinkets and Treasures where I posted all of my items in an album. They would buy the stuff and I would ship them out. So instead of local people coming to buy my stuff at a garage sale, I wanted to ship to all states. During the time that I was selling this stuff in my group, I was also buying new stuff for the tiny house. So I had all mismatched stuff, all just odds and ends stuff, and because I just got rid of all of that, and because I was starting out fresh and new in a tiny house, I wanted to have all new stuff. So I took that $10,000 that I made from selling those 4,000 items on Facebook and bought all new stuff. Also, in this year of waiting, I rebranded my business. I used to be Unique Visions by Jen, where I used to hand make jewelry, and it was mostly glass beaded bracelets. So I had hundreds and hundreds of bracelets, and I had 44 different collections. When I got injured at my job years and years ago, it was about 15 years ago, I didn't want to rely on Western medicine because I had 2 surgeries. I now have CRPS, which is chronic regional pain syndrome. I will have pain in this shoulder for the rest of my life. So I felt Western medicine was messing me up, so I turned to natural medicine. In that process of turning to natural medicine, I was using herbs and tinctures to heal me. When they started working on me, I said to myself, I'm going to add this stuff to my business. I had added it to my business, Unique Visions by Jen. Something wasn't right. I didn't want to call a bag of herbs Unique Visions by Jen. To me, the name was confusing. So during this whole tiny house journey, I rebranded my entire business into Goddess of Herbs. In the process of selling all this stuff, I sold all of these beads. It was amazing because I thought to myself, if I continue selling all of these beads, I'm going to have to create room in my tiny house for all of these beads. It became pointless to me to need room and storage for all of that stuff. I wanted to make sure I was going to be able to live in a tiny house, so I went to a tiny house festival in Tennessee, and that's where I toured about 30 different tiny houses, had a great time, and met a bunch of really cool people, and ended up sitting down with the builder and creating my design right then and there. I got a price quote, and when I went home, I decided this is the company I want to build my tiny house. I chose Incredible Tiny Homes. Most of you know I had a lot of problems with them. It was a struggle throughout the build and the design process, and working with the different people that I needed to work with. They had people in and out, hiring and firing different people, so there were a lot of mistakes created on my house. More than 88, and I keep finding them. The company was kind of a mess at the time when it came to organization and professionalism. I had to go through this struggle of trying to get all of these mistakes fixed on my house. A lot of them were fixed during the design process, a lot of them were fixed during the build process, but I still started having more problems after the fact that I moved into the house. My 1-year warranty was finally up, and the builder had come to fix the rest of the problems. Most of the problems were fixed, and I compromised on a lot of the problems. Now it was basically time to start living tiny and living my life in a tiny house. I also created my YouTube channel and decided to show the world how to live out of a tiny house and what the real life stories are behind living in a tiny house, the problems we face, the challenges, living with animals, having a business outside of the tiny house. I started hanging around with a bunch of people in camp, different sets here and there, and eventually within the 2 years I had a bunch of problems with some of those people, and I am no longer friends with any of those people anymore. I have a friend here or there on this side of camp or this side of camp, and those are the only people that I like. Just bad drama happened here with me, and that's one of the reasons why I'm moving on to my next destination. I am moving to Georgia, and by the time this video airs, I'll already be there, and you guys will already know this. My plan was to stay in Illinois in order to search for my land wherever I was going to have it and be close to my family at the same time. I don't like the cold, and I didn't like all the drama that I got into, so I decided to move from Illinois, and I went to a warmer state. Being in Georgia allows me to be in the warmer state that I want to, travel to the states that I want to in order to look at those plots of land. Also, being in Georgia at this homestead, it's basically a tiny house homestead and stay, allows me to gain more experiences. When I was in the campground, I didn't have anybody to really talk to about tiny house living, and nobody was really interested, and nobody knew about the systems or the appliances. It was all foreign to them. They said, a compost toilet? Ew, gross. Like, they didn't understand. Being in a more of a tiny house community helps me gain more tiny house knowledge, and this includes going to their workshops and possibly going to nearby tiny house fests like the one in Florida or any ones in Tennessee or the ones in Georgia. I can go to all of these festivals and be closer. I can also learn from the people that I'm going to be renting from, because they are renting out tiny houses like Airbnb, and that is one of my plans in my tiny house journey as well, to either buy or build another tiny house to rent out Airbnb, as well as rent out 5 other spots to other tiny houses that need legal parking. Being at this homestead that I'm in is going to help me learn from them. It's just going to be a better journey from here on out, because I'm in more of a like-minded place for me and my tiny house lifestyle and what I'm trying to accomplish. Fast forward till today, I'm not going to go into much of what my future plans are. Most of you guys know what that is, which is basically renting out another tiny house and renting out spots. But as far as transformations for my house, I'm going to be taking this entire office out when I get my new land. I want my office in another building where I'm going to be able to sell out of and work out of the same time. And then I'm going to turn this entire business office into like a living area. I've got tons of plans and ideas of what I want it to look like. I purposely got this house to look like a specific style on a picture. I don't know whose tiny house it was, but I took their style and kind of transformed it into my own. And then when I take the business office out, I'm transforming that into my own little living area, which is also playing off of another tiny house model. I absolutely love it. I also have plans to turn this business office way down the line into a downstairs bedroom for myself, and then I will use the upstairs loft as a sitting area, but that is way down the line. Other plans would be to build a catio outside the cat loft window for the cats. I was going to do that in the campground when I lived in the campground, but because of the drama, I decided not to. Other than those changes for future plans, there are a bunch of different community plans that I'm thinking about. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna happen, but I've dreamed of having bees, chickens. I want to build a pool. I want to build paths and build decks and fireplaces. That's all in the future, but it's all in my head. Day by day, I'm making all of my dreams happen, so hopefully it will become a reality at the end of my tiny house journey. One of the main things that I can recommend in going tiny is speak it into existence. This was a huge dream of mine, but it was only a dream of mine about 3 years ago. I did not know anything about tiny houses before I learned about them. It's not like it was a childhood dream or anything, but when I decided to go tiny and make it happen, I hammered out by doing my due diligence, writing down those notes in the notebook, making my dream happen. If you speak it into existence, then it will manifest itself a lot quicker than, say, if you're just sitting down doing nothing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below and click the notifications button if you want to receive my videos, which is every Sunday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys continue to follow my journey. See you in the next video. Halloween and Samhain is my favorite holiday, so that was important for me. Really? You know, say a crystal or whatever. This includes Rockland. I can't. Why I decided to go tiny, what, and it has Whisper. See what it was like, real life living.